Hello? Hello? Can anybody see me or hear me? Well, uh-huh. Okay, great, it works. All right, I'm early, uh, but that just means I have some time to do the crossword. And anybody who wants to join in can feel free to yell answers from the comments. I'll try to figure out if I can see those comments or if there's any latency to those. Share screen. All right, you see that? Okay. Yeah, like I said, I don't know what I'm doing. That will be a theme of all of this. If you're here and you want to yell out answers, go for it. Wow, I don't know any of these. Snow caps. Hello, Coog Control. Oh, hey, I know you. How's it going, man? Release. Unicycle. But that's weird because coming out party, I don't know a word that ends in W space U. So maybe it's tricycle. I don't know. Is anybody there? No. Dust. This is usually like you wish or no way, but neither of those fit. Really situation. Shouldn't have started on a Friday, that's the problem. Finish up, tidy up. Listing on wages. Wrap up. There we go. Summer flyer Nat. Ran across, stumbled upon, ran across. Pet. Spiders. This definitely ends with an S. Hold on a second. RNA. Trunk item. Declares is sometimes like avows or says. Is it says? Does anyone know a creature that can turn into a human on land? That would be helpful right about now. It's pet. Snakes. Trunk item. Arthur Ashe. Raul Julia. Here we go. Diverts, reuses. No, avalanche. Maybe it is reuses. Witticism. In Scottish folklore, can seals turn into humans on land? That's amazing. Says trunk item gas can. Shortest reigning English monarch, 9 days. King Henry, King Ralph. Here we go. Best original song Oscar winner from Selma. It has 5 letters, so it's probably one name. I don't know. This is probably His Excellency or Her Excellency, maybe. Chops. PE unit, a rep. Let's rock. Receives unfair criticism, gets something. Wood used for flooring is going to be either like ash or elm. The only 3-letter oak, the only 3-letter wood I can think of. And there's only 3 of them. That's actually kind of a lot. I clouded this whole thing. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just doing the crossword because I'm early and I wanted to make sure everything works. And so far, it seems like people are able to at least comment. You're number 2? Oh, I thought you meant 2 down. You got me all excited that you knew an answer. And 23. Fan. Oh, is fir? Is there like is fir wood used for flooring? There's 4 different 3-letter words for woods. It's crazy. What are the odds? As if, sure, sure, no, or like, oh, I'm sure. 34 across. Open. Nice. Thanks, Josh. I'm not sure that tricycle is right. I keep saying tricycle. Scenario calling for self-reliance. Come back for the vibe coding, Josh, if you want. Follow 3. What is that emoji? Some kind of terrifying crocodile pig. It takes a long time to get old. Leading character on social media. Jink, and is it Jane Grey? Oh, the song is Glory. I think the song was Glory. I thought it was the name of a person. uh, place for Trading Stories Book Fair. Secret offering. Is it book fair? Like Leatherette Fine leading. Eat the costs. Mop. How many three-letter words are there for cleaning? Locale, a semi-annual. Milan. Overt. And count 5. Makes do for a while. Perms, is this a joke? Like it makes a hairdo for a while? Perms make hairdos for a while? Goal-oriented FIFA. One might help you hitch a ride. Trailer. Animal farm. Gets a bad rap. Diverts, amuses, mott, at symbol. You know we're getting somewhere. Start of a secret invitation. Meet me. Financial aid basis is need. One might help you hitch a ride. Nana. I don't know. Half. Calf. Fake. Car trailer. Fake plants are green year round. Leatherette. Fake. But then fake plants, they wouldn't use fake twice in the same puzzle. They wouldn't do that. Ian is to Scotland as Owen is to Wales. Owen. Rind. Oh, 39. Nice. It was definitely that. Market for currency is Forex, foreign exchange. Leans, something. Invitations to come on board. That's not Apollo. This felt like book fair. I'm not sure it's. Is it open? First NASA mission broadcast live from orbit. How many different NASA missions? I can only think of Apollo. I mean, it is going to be Apollo. And I don't think it was Apollo. Oh, it's Evan? It's Evan. Means tens. Oh, herding cats. Oh, White House partner is Flotus. Tens. Job offers. Rest, sits. Secret offering deodorant. Jading. Okay. It was open. Is this sometimes this is Oz. Coming out party. Hello is like, can you hear me now or something? Hmm. As yet. Need for it. Yeah, I thought it might be uni or try, but yeah, but I don't know what word. Coming out party. Xia something. This one's also interesting. Scenario calling for self-reliance. Sound around a summer cornfield. Buzz, bees, bug sounds. Anyway, I'm gonna just punt on it because I don't know. We got most of it. I don't think it's something that ends in I even. Because if it's wows or Oz, what is a scenario calling for self-reliance? Do I just Google it? Do you want me to just Google it? We're so close. We still have time. We have time before 3. I'm gonna wait till 3. Rita Moreno was in West Side Story. I don't remember. It's 22. Maybe, but like this is the sound isn't like this is going to be like a buzz or hum or it's a sound around a cornfield. Around around a summer cornfield. Hmm. I'm also not totally sure of this already as yet. I feel like this and this would be really helpful to know. Or Rita Moreno. Could one be empty? Let's see how it goes. Empty. Something's off. This is wrong, or this is wrong, or this is wrong. Hello. All right, we have 5 minutes left, and I just really want to finish this. So I'm going to Google scenario calling for self-reliance. Nobody tell me. Nobody tell anybody. The internet claims it is sink or swim. Ooh, we didn't have any of those. Okay. Sink or swim. So I think this is wows. Already of now, as now. I still don't know that one. Is it Anita? Is that a character? If it was West Side Story, it might be Anita. I don't remember. Basic? Coming out party. Anyone home? REM cycle. Baby shower. Release, emit, buy now. I too. We did it. Nice. Yeah, that was fun. All you had to do was cheat and Google one and unblock yourself. We have a few more minutes. I'm gonna start with the spelling bee again too, just to see if I can get any of these. Ace, mace, came, climb, yeah, baby shower was pretty good, right? Hold on, baby shower was pretty good for coming out party. A good joke. Most of these other ones were not good jokes. There was one down here. Perms makes do for a while. Perms, no, terrible, terrible joke. Lice, life. Thank you. Ice. Oh, missing center there. Icicle. I really like to get the word that uses them all. It's not like facsimile. Facsimile. Mice. Mace. Oh, already found. Face. Lace. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna get the all the letters, the pangram. Camel, nice. I get cam already, yeah. Mm, a meal, nice. Thank you. I like doing this more with people than just getting stuck by myself. Anyway, okay, it's 3 o'clock. All right, time to get down to business. Um, all right. Do we see this? Did people see this? What's happening? All right. Sorry, I'm just also trying to figure out what the hell I'm doing here. Um, all right. I don't know. That's not it. That's not it. Okay. So this is a thing we used to do at Chain Guard. Um, for a few months, we did it, maybe 6 months. Um, and what we did was every Friday, whoever wanted to would get together and we would just sort of bullshit. And sometimes drinks were involved, and sometimes coding was involved, and usually coding was involved. And we would just sort of, somebody would come up with a project, someone would come up with like I want to make a thing that does this, and we would vibe code it sort of all together. Sometimes the person doing it would just be doing it, and everyone else would just be watching. I think we had like a designated heckler, like another person that had to like ask questions and be like involved and not just watching. That's you. If you're in the comments or whatever, you can just heckle and ask and stop me. I might, if I do this again, I'll probably have another person because I feel very alone up here on the stage. I also don't know what I'm doing. So the um, so I wanted to do that like publicly. I wanted to like do that with more people out and about. People at Chain Guard, I told people at Chain Guard we were doing this, and so people are here. But also, if you're just coming along and finding this on YouTube or LinkedIn or whatever, like come on over and hang out. Um, if you want more of this, let me know and we'll do more. If you don't want more of this, let me know and I guess I'll stop. Um, lately, the cool thing that I have learned, and sorry, so yeah, like doing this for 6 months with Chain Guard folks was really uh, interesting and informative, and like gave us all, I think, an opportunity to stop and try these tools and learn from each other and like work on our Claude MDs and work on our skills and try things out and use new tools and try to build new things. So it was really fun, and now I'm trying to do that here. Um, One of the cool things I've learned about recently is, and I think it's not terribly recent in terms of things. One sec. Um, is the There we go. The Ralph Wiggum loop. I don't know why it is called that. I think it's because Ralph Wiggum is a known idiot who does his best. But basically, um, this was a really good video. It's a little long, but a good video by George or Jeffrey Jeffrey, there it is, Huntley, the inventor, I guess, or discoverer of the Wiggum loop. And really, I think this is like how it boils down. You make a plan. Uh, you can start with a very little plan of your own. You can say, I want to make a thing that does a thing. Like first, Claude, expand on this plan. Like, what do you think this means? Write out more of a plan. Write out more and more and more of a plan. Write out milestones to achieve that plan, and then uh, the basically the idea is, while true, uh, put the prompt into Claude Code and let it run. I think in one of these videos he just says like dangerously skip permissions and just run. as fast as you can. I'm not quite that crazy. But and the prompt is basically, if you watch in that video, the prompt is like, pick up the next item from the plan, do it, uh, stop when you're done with that task, and update the status, and then that's it. And then like git commit, and you're done. Um, and I think what's really interesting about that is for a long and you just do this in a loop. Each time it finishes a task, it stops, and then a new Claude Code instance with a new config or a new context window starts up. Doesn't know anything. Doesn't know that there was a previous Claude instance. Picks up and says, "Oh, here's the plan. We're on step 2. Okay, I'll do step 2. Finish step 2, mark step 2 complete, and die. And a new instance shows up and says, "Oh, we're on step 3." Um, the sort of amazing thing about that, I think it was originally, I don't know, but I think it was originally in order to get around context rot, basically. Like the longer your context window is, the more and more and more Claude is going to fall off the rails because it's got more to remember. It's got more like state to keep. Eventually, you get like a compaction, which is like the context window is too long, and Claude summarizes its whole conversation with you lossedly down to 10% or 5% of the window again, and then basically starts a new Claude from that state, from the internal state of like, here's everything we had just talked about, learn from this. That's like internally what a compaction is. And every time you got a compaction, Claude got noticeably stupider. Like Claude got really, really dumb after that. And so it would do its best, but you could tell like when it started compacting, you're basically going to get a dumb one. And so in order to avoid that, basically you use the plan as the memory, and Claude only wakes up to do one task to completion and then dies, and then comes back as a new person and does the next step and then dies, et cetera, until the plan is done. And then when the plan is done, it's like, you did it, we're done, the whole plan. I think there's a little bit more nuance to it than just this loop. I mean, it's especially, I don't know how you exit this loop, but that was sort of the basics of it. And then I think there's like another step beyond that that I think is like, you could also, between each loop, stop and have it do a code review. Like between each task, there's an implicit or even explicit, like do a code review of the code so far step. Or in the prompt, actually, we'll do it when I show you, when we like get started actually doing this. But you can like add other instructions there to say like, hey, stop and do a code review, or hey, like mark that the next step is to do a code review of this work, and then you shoot that one and you start a new one, and it does the code review of the previous guy. That can be pretty good. I actually really like to do the code review sort of at the end of the everything, because first each task is just getting done, not writing bad code, but just doing not the best code, and then at the end you can do like a holistic cleanup of everything. So that's a cool one. Then things kind of got crazy. Like I think that sort of process for, like, let's say delivering a feature is pretty good. But then there was Gastown, which is like a multi-agent. You have, and I don't know why they all have such names, but like basically these are your workers. These are your like dumb actual agents in the loop. And then you have the mayor, the AI coordinator. You have rigs, crew members, and hooks and convoys, and refineries. No, this doesn't even mention refineries. Anyway, there's all kinds of like meta management stuff you can do. Polecats, yeah, I love a polecat. I don't know what a polecat is. A carnivorous mustelid mammal related to ferrets and weasels. That tracks. That sounds about right. You really want those guys doing the real bulk of the work. Um, uh, I think that's sort of crazy. I might try it someday, but for now, I think I'm doing just fine on regular dumb Ralph's in a loop. But this is like you have a code review agent sort of constantly watching the workers, or after every time it says it's done, a like management agent to say like, hey, actually, did you do that work? Check and make sure, whatever. I think this is actually a secret project by the AI labs to make you spend more tokens, to make you spend more on these services. I don't foresee using this today, but we might do something like the Ralph loop. I think another sorry, so the sort of pure Ralph loop is like just fully unattended. You let it run, you let it do task by task by task with a new context window each time, and it tells you, hey, I wrote the whole thing and I code reviewed it and it's ready to go. Um, I like a little more control than that, but we will still sort of do a functional or like conceptual Ralph loop, um, because I think that's really cool. Um, I guess he's trying to get people to pay to find out what's in prompted MD, and then in this video, he actually just shows you. So, anyway, Ralph Loop is really cool, an interesting way to work, and I think has other benefits. We'll talk about that as we go. So let me share this window, and we'll talk about what our project is. The project I chose for today is silly. We're going to write an Uno simulator, like an Uno, the card game Uno simulator. It's going to play as many games, a game of Uno, and then as many games as it can, and will, I guess, gather analytics about thousands of games of Uno and see where it goes from there. This is Zed, Zed the IDE. This is a new directory I created called Uno. There's nothing up my sleeves. We're gonna do everything from here. I'm using Claude. The default is Sonnet, but we like Opus, and we're not spending money. I'm not spending our own money, so this is fine. All right, so I want to. Is it? Oh no. Okay, I can make it a little smaller. Is that better? That might be harder for me, but better and fine for everyone else. If that's we can get rid of some of these. We don't need a terminal. We're just vibe coding. Game of Uno, the card game Uno. I want you to write the necessary code to do this in JavaScript. Interview me about this plan, and I'll clarify the requirements. I actually really like this part too. I don't know if this is part of the Ralph Wiggum thing or something else, but I saw it in some of his videos, like you come up with a very high level plan. Like literally I just said like, this is the plan. And then instead of writing that plan myself, because what am I going to do? Write a plan? You have it write the plan, but first, if it needs more details than this, very little amount of detail, interview me about the plan and clarify the requirements. So it's gonna chug and do that. All right, see, these are very good questions and ones I didn't even think to answer in the first place. Is this meant to be playable? Let's plan on having a playable version in the future. For now, just simulating AI versus AR, is sufficient to get the basics. I want this to have a web UI eventually. Ooh, which Uno rules vary? Classic rules or any house rules you want to include? Stacking +2 +4 jump-ins. Classic rules. Document the rules we'll be using in rules.md. 2 to 6. Should be a single file or more. Oh, this is a Serious project. Use a professional. Oh, stacking must be allowed? Okay. Stacking must be allowed. Must be allowed. Very important. Okay, this is a serious project. Use a professional project structure. We're hoping to make a lot of money on this. Any testing requirements? Yeah, we should have tests and integration tests for whole game simulations. When we have a web UI, I want playwright tests. If we get to there, if we get time for that, that would be really cool. At the end of a game, of each game, dump a report.json about the game. Number of turns, number of unos, number of times people went uno, anything else you think might be interesting to record. Any more questions? Oh, more questions. My goodness. I didn't know there would be so much work involved. Per player stats. Bots always remember to call Uno. Bots of different strategies. Let's make bot strategy pluggable so we can play with different strategies in the future. For now, just one strategy. Does anybody have a preference between ES modules and CommonJS? Up to you. I trust your judgment. Simple during early simulation phase. You should pick a bundling tool eventually. Package name preference, call it Uno. Add a verbose flag to log each turn. All right, perfect. That's enough to get started. Okay, summary of requirements. I actually, one more question. Stacking clarification. Manfred, I hope you're here to answer this one. When you say stacking is allowed, do you mean +2 can be stacked on +2, victim draws 4, 6, etc. +4 can be, both. Sorry, C, both A and B. And both A and B, +2 on +4 is not allowed. See, I wouldn't have even thought, I wouldn't have thought to even consider that in the initial design, right? Like I'm glad I asked it to clarify and to ask me questions, because that's like before you even jump to the plan, like what am I not telling you? Design the implementation plan directly. And it will, I've written the implementation plan. Write this plan to plan.md. I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to read it in there. That's too small. Done. I've written the plan to plan.md. Okay, so I'm going to hide that and go through. And I don't care about project structure. I told it to be professional. Card.js makes sense. Can play on, okay. 108 card. Shuffle using Fisher Yates, very important shuffling algorithm. Rules, game. strategy. Yeah, it seems to have a good idea. Uh, this implementation order, in fact, um, uh, the implementation milestones are pretty uh, brief. Flesh them out so that um, is actually involved in each step. See, I think this is part of the trick is that it wants to just run and go. Like it's like we made a plan, I'm ready to go. It doesn't know, and don't tell it that right after it's done writing the plan, I'm going to shoot this agent and start a new one to pick up the first plan or the first phase. So it needs to get as much context as it can out into, like whatever it thinks it should do next, put that into the plan so that I can feed that into the next guy. And it's thinking, I hope it didn't hear me say what I was going to do to it, but it's thinking like, oh, okay, I want to add to the plan. I got to be more specific and explicit about my plan. You know what else it didn't do? It didn't pick up that we want to do a web UI. So I will tell it that too. But first, yeah, okay. See, it's tossing a lot more out into this plan. Great, great, great. Phase 4, CLI and reporting. Okay. Um, remember, we want to eventually implement a web UI. Add that to the milestones with as much detail as you can think of. Include tests with Playwright. Imagine how you would render this game in a browser. And so I think another interesting and like useful part of having this plan here is like if I disagreed or if I was like actually we want to use a different shuffling, or if I wanted to have remove the stacking or change the stacking rules, I could tell it to do it, right? I could be like, actually I want to have these different rules. But sometimes it's like, maybe I want to have up to 20 players. So I just like change the 6 to 20. Um, the plan is mutable, the plan is human writable, but I'm not going to do that because I'm lazy, and that's the point of this, is to have the computer do it. I'm going to go get a drink while this runs. I'll be back. You gotta unmute, it turns out. But yeah, is everything there? All right, all good. And here's what you do: get init, get status, get add. And so now we create a whole new agent, and we say, oh, here's another cool part. I'm going to add a prompt MD, and it's going to say, pick up the next task from plan MD and implement it. When you if you get stuck, stop and ask me for help. I'm here to help you. When you're done, update plan.md with the latest status in a very brief get commit message. Don't commit yourself. I'll do that. Anything else? I should make sure to add tests where appropriate. And so the point of having a prompt MD in the repo, or at least in like here while I'm working on it, is I can update the prompt each time. But basically, each loop is going to be me just saying, read prompt MD. And it says, okay, I'll pick up the next task. And I let it go nuts. Project hasn't been set up yet. According to the plan, I'll need to start with project setup. It's decided on the MIT license. Another nice thing I like about Claude in Z, or Z maybe with any agent, is even outside of a commit, even outside of the context of a commit, it keeps track of its edits. So you can say, like, what edits have you made to package.json since the last time I looked? And then keep all will like commit those, not literally commit them to Git, but like keep that as the new state to diff off of as it makes new edits. So even within the context of a commit, you can have little subcommits. And I know there are other things for that, but I like that Zed makes it like easy and by default. So it's writing all this code. Let's see. It's got a card.js. I can Command J hides the bottom, Command R hides the right. It's still going, and B hides the left. So I can like look around in here. That looks fine. Write the tests for deck.js. All right, all tests pass. Run all the tests together. Yeah. Update the plan to mark the status. All right, phase 1 complete. I can keep all the changes. It's got to add the check marks to the completed card.js and deck.js items. Okay. And it's done everything I asked for that step. So I'm going to copy that, git add, git command s, and now we did it. And now we do another loop where we just say, hey, go read the plan, pick up the next item, implement it. If you get stuck, ask for help. It didn't get stuck, it didn't need help. It's going to pick up phase 2, player and rules. that first guy snuck in 2 phases, but I think phase 0 is just like create files, so it didn't consider it an important thing. Phase 2, player and rules. You can see it's doing stuff. This is its little internal to-do list, which generally I don't usually care about, but you can see it's sort of chugging through stuff. The problem with Vibe Code live streams is that very often there's like minutes of just waiting for the machine to get done. If anybody knows any good jokes, share them in the chat. Uh-oh. Test failures. What will we do? I see the issue. The matches method correctly handles wildcards, but in can play card, when there is no pending draw, we're not allowing wildcards through. Problem is that can play card with pending draw equals 0 should reach the final return, which calls card.matches. I don't know what any of that means because I haven't looked at any of the code. This should work. Let me check if maybe the issue is how the constants are defined. Aha, the issue is clear now. In the test, we're creating cards with new card wild, but the constants are lowercase. Classic. The card color doesn't match the constant. Claude, come on. What do you think? I mean, I'm glad you caught the bug, but you wasted a lot of our time. Let me use replace all to fix all the uppercase strings in the file. Sure. So like honestly, I wouldn't even had like looked at this until it said it was done or it had a question. So it's not fair to give it shit for having bugs. We all have bugs, but it fixed it. It found it and it's fixed it. Let me also fix player.js file to match the value constants. Okay, go for it. Yep, uppercase string literals, but the actual card constants are lowercase. I see the issue. The switch statement is using uppercase string literals. Yeah. Oh, so it did a sed to try to replace all of these and they didn't work or whatever. So now it's actually just going to write a separate JavaScript script to go fix all of these. I see. The replacement broke the syntax. Classic. The issue is that wild was being replaced, but it was inside another quote. Let me fix this properly. It's just going, it's just doing. This is a good opportunity to both failures are about should use active color for matching. Okay. Same thing, uppercase things. Uppercase string literals. God, it really messed that up. Um, what I'm going to do is, when it's done, okay, uh, you've learned an important thing about constants, about using constants instead of hard-coded strings. Using the constants would have avoided these bugs. What should I remember this in learnings.md so that we can remember this in the future. Then update status, plan status, and continue. And then what I'm going to do is in prompt.md, I did some learnings in so this is like another place to keep memory, basically. Every time it says, oh, hey, like constants are better than hard-coded values, it will put it into learnings. See, this is, and like way more text than I would have put. But like, you know, bad, good. And so now next time when it runs, it will remember that. It will have, you know, it won't have to make that mistake again. It's telling me all this stuff. All right, nice work. Bullet to the head, prompt empty. All right, looking at the plan, I can see completed, completed. Oh, this is next. And so like this loop is like, I'm doing it manually, but it is fundamentally automatable, I think the insight of the Ralph Wiggum loop. That eventually, if you do this, if I'm sitting here doing this manually, this back and forth, there are things like updating the prompts with note things you've learned and take those into account and add more as you learn. That's just a thing that could have been in the prompt the whole time, and now it would learn as it keeps going, and each agent could learn from its previous iteration. You can also parallelize these if you want, if you can. You can have a manager agent that says, figure out which tasks are parallelizable and farm outable to other agents and do that. This is not a serious enough, like crazy hard enough problem to need that. And I think that's it. Probably my brain doesn't work that well yet to be able to say, like, I'm just managing a farm of managers that farm work out to agents. I don't know. I don't know if I can do that. Hey, Josh Wolf is here to see me build cool shit. Well, unfortunately, Josh, we're here building an Uno simulator. Uno, the child's card game. And it's pretty far along in the plan. It's got fucking, it's in the game engine now, so it's just chugging along. Anyway, this isn't so bad because at each step I can like check what it's done. I can keep an eye on the progress and see like, oh, you made some mistakes and could do this better next time. But eventually, I feel like if you just tell it to learn from its own mistakes, it will, and you don't need to watch it anymore. I'm not quite in a fully hands-off mode. Several test failures. Yeah, see? Well, but it figured it out and I didn't have to. So it's going to do that. It's going to keep going. In a 3-player game, We should definitely advance, not come back to the same player. I'm not sure what it's talking about, but I also don't care. The file uses double quotes. Typical. And comments like these are annoying if I ever looked at the code. I don't really like comments when Claude says like when it basically adds a comment based on the context of what it was thinking at the time. Because later, 6 months later, a year later, you're going to look at this code and be like, "What do you mean? Don't call setup? I wasn't about to call setup." But a very nice thing about vibe coding is that you don't care about the code and you don't look at it maybe ever, let alone in a year. If I'm looking at this code in a year, something has gone terribly wrong. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Get to the point. One failing test. I don't know what the previous failing test was about or how to fix it. Another insight to this, and I think this is pre Ralph Wiggum loop, is make the thing write tests. Don't because it would have happily just said, "Yep, game.js is ready to go, boss." And if you didn't make it write some tests, it would have just happily pawned off all that slop on us. So even though the tests are also slop, you have like two piles of slop holding each other up, um, which is better than just slop going everywhere. As we get more sophisticated, like especially when we have a web UI to play with, or when we're doing thousands of simulations or whatever, it will find more edge cases. And especially in the web UI, when we get to play with it, we will find edge cases in our play, and we'll have like Claude fix them. But for now, even just having like basic unit tests um, has been helpful for finding bugs. Now let me update the to-do list and create a summary. Perfect. So it is done. Uh, it is done. Basic strategy. Okay. Is that it? Perfect. Um, let's go back to here. CLI and reporting is next. So, okay. So we can't really even like we can't interact with this yet until um, until Claude writes the CLI for us. So we're gonna put a bullet in that one and say prompt and pick up the next item. It's gonna say, aha, CLI and reporting is next. Let me start by examining the current state. And it may be like a waste to have it like a perfectly context filled thing that knew about the project state was just there and I killed it and I replaced it with a new one. But I think that is helpful for like if I had just gone from phase 3 to phase 4, it would have implemented phase 4 as if it knew about phase 3. And so it would have like uh had that context poisoning of like that bug with the red thing or whatever and the like the details of that previous thing. And so killing it and starting it a new one is just nice for like refreshing, just emptying your brain and only focusing on the next task. Any context it needs, anything it needs to learn, it can learn from PlanMD and learnings.md to um, to get back on track. Did it change? It didn't learn anything this last time. I maybe should have asked it like make sure you write down something you learned. We could do that. We could say each iteration before you're done, write down something you learned. That might get long. That might get like way more detail than we want. But all right, now it's writing the CLI. There's reporter. So it's going to tell us total turns, winner, players, start, and duration. Uno's called, that's cool. Action cards played, wild cards played. Excellent. This is what it looks like. Okay, so it knows it needs to create an integration test. Good. That was in the plan, I think. Yeah. Test a 2-player game completes without error. A 6-player game completes without error. Now we'll run, and oh no, a test failed. But that's okay, because it's already looking into how to fix it. I suspect the issue is that on turn start is called before incrementing turn count. So yeah, so in this commit, like it literally only changed reporter test, integration test, and the simulator CLI. What I want to do now, before it is done, we don't have a README and we don't have a Claude MD. That's okay. Let me mark the final to do as complete. Oh, next we'll do a documentation. Perfect. That's the next step anyway. Generate a Git diff summary. Documentation and then web UI. Okay, so it's done. I should probably test this. Node simulate.js. Boom, look at us. Just running a million games. Nice. All right, so this is phase 4 complete. And then just to prove that it's possible, you can like the next phase is documentation, but maybe I wanted to have, I want simulate.js to have a count flag that runs that many games and as fast as possible and reports and generates a report about the games as reports. So if we think this is gonna, like, I can do this one shot and just say like, go do this and go for it. Make a plan to do this and write count plan. So this is like a side quest, right? Like we were just doing, we had the whole plan. The next thing in the big plan was documentation, but first I'm going to be a little weird and tell it to go do another feature. I could have told it to add this to the plan, and that probably would have been fine. But it's kind of nice to put a little like side quest off to the side in a second plan. Perfect. Now I have a good understanding of the code base. Let me create a plan for a count flag. So each game, this game took 4 milliseconds. Action cards played 6. Uno's called. That was a pretty short game, to be honest. Total turns 45. Okay, account plan. Okay, plan, add account flag. That looks good. And so what I can do is like add account plan, right? And then I can do um, do the regular prompt, but instead of doing plan.md, look at account plan. So it's going to do that. It's going to start by reading the plan. It's going to do a little to-do list, and it's going to get to work. I didn't, but I could have like checked this plan and been like, oh no, I want more information from the meta report or whatever. Um, but I don't care. I sort of trust what it's doing. It didn't have any questions for me. It was a pretty straightforward request, and I maybe could have one-shotted it, but it's kind of nice to have the first shot be like make a whole plan and then give yourself a bunch of detail, and then the next shot is do that with all that detail. Testing, yeah, batch simulation test. For very large counts, consider not storing all individual game results in memory. This is another kind of annoying thing about Claude. It's very, I'm sure it's in its prompt somewhere to care about backwards compatibility. Um, and that's fine, but I wish I could tell it like, and I mean, you can't just tell it, I don't care about backwards compatibility, just change it. This before I told it to go do this plan, or I could stop it and revert and kill it and do whatever and start again. But I could say like, I don't care about backwards compatibility, just change how it works, and that's fine. I don't really care though. Non-goals, future enhancements, graphs and charts. I love a graph. I love a chart. Comparison of different strategies. That would be interesting. That might be something we do. But for now, I'd really like to get to a web UI. That would be fun. Nice. Integration test for all this we can do. How long does it take to do 100 games? Takes a quarter of a second, or it take 2.5 seconds to do 100,000 games of Uno. So that's pretty good. And you can see it's pretty balanced. Like player 2 and player 1 are pretty similar. I wonder if over time, like player 1 wins a little bit just because it goes first or whatever. There's games like that where like the player who goes first has a very, very, very small advantage over everybody else. Ooh. Okay. So it did it. And there we go. Git add, git commit. All right. Batch mode is done. We're going to do the prompt again and have it do documentation. Now I wonder if, because I lost all that context just now when I killed it, maybe I should have had it right. Maybe I should have had it update the plan, but it's at least in count plan. So I wonder if when it writes documentation, it will know about count plan. We'll find out. Okay, read me. What was it writing? .md prompt learnings. Where was it writing its rules.md? Okay. I also want you to write readme.md with everything you know. Write a very brief readme with everything you know about the game, about the implementation. Don't use emojis. This is for humans in a rush. Okay, talks about the CLI, how to run tests, project structure, implementation details. I don't care about any of this in the README, or maybe I do. No, game rules. Sometimes it really because it's so plan oriented, it likes to leak plans into the README, and I don't care about that. Get commit s. All right, so now we have a CLI that can run a bunch of games of Uno and tell me who wins and tell me the average game turn and tell there's this aggregate report. I could probably do something cool with that. I could show graphs and cool stuff like that. What I really want is a web UI. We're about an hour into doing this and we don't have a web UI. So what I want to do, and it mentioned this before, it mentioned that the web UI is kind of a big deal, that the web UI is a lot of work to be able to get all that work done. So what I'm going to do for its benefit, the next step in plan.md is the web UI. This is a lot of work. Break this work down into discrete milestones in web plan.md. Oh, that's another thing. So in here we still have count plan MD and learnings MD. I don't know if it added more learnings or whatever. We can clean those up now. I think it's really nice to keep them in the repo somewhere. It doesn't have to be at the head of the repo. Some people put these in a specs directory or a plans directory for looking at later. I actually really like putting them in a commit in the branch that adds these. I'm not doing branching and PRs or whatever, but put them in a commit in the branch that adds the thing and then delete it before you merge. That way it's there, but it doesn't pollute the repo. It's just it's discoverable in history if you care about it. So anyway, we're going to create a new plan, web plan. Ask, interview me about the plan, and I'll help make any decisions. We also haven't been using Opus so far. Maybe we'll switch to using Opus for the real project. We'll see. All right. Questions for Jason. Framework. Does anyone have a preferred framework? I'm gonna say React. Card rendering, CSS only, please. We can fix that later. Bot speed. How fast should bot turns play? Instant, but configurable. No, what instant? I don't care. Uno button behavior, manual, player must click. Auto call when playing second to last card, hybrid. Auto call. The Uno thing is going to be hard. Mobile support would be nice. Maybe add this in a separate milestone after the basics work. 6, testing approach. End-to-end tests incrementally using play and write. 7, sound effects, spectator mode. No sound effects. Spectator mode would be nice. Actually, spectator mode at first, then add player, human players. Package manager, NPM. Any more questions? Okay, more questions. React setup. Byte, yeah, sure. Spectator mode for boosting humans. This is a great approach. This actually simplifies things. Confirm this is the right order. Yep. State management. Let's just keep it simple. I trust your judgment. No, JavaScript is fine. Mobile milestone. Yes, after production. 6, accessibility. Yeah, let's skip for now. We can add later. This isn't going to be real. Get a working demo ASAP. Okay, so it's going to write, maybe we already wrote web plan. Yeah. And you can do like keep those changes, and now when it makes updates to it, we'll see those diffs here. Okay. Updated web plan, and so now you can see like it's little diff on top of the diff from before. It's completely rewritten everything. Ready to start with milestone 1? No, I have bad news for you. Get add web plan. Bullet. Oh, we're going to update the prompt. And actually, now that plan MD is done, except for the web phase, and we're just going to we're going to clean up some of our plants. Anything else? We have web plan, we have rules. Did it get any more, did it find any more learnings? No, but those are good learnings. All right, we're gonna actually move web plan to, did I update the prompt already? No, the prompt says web plan, that's fine. All right, let's get started. Web plan. Switch to Opus for this. This is the good stuff. Oh, it's removing. The original plan had these check marks at each milestone that it had not yet created, and not yet finished, but it uh, removed them because it didn't like them. It's like, you're confusing me. Um, okay, it says npm run dev, and then localhost 5173. So I don't know if I can add a second screen to this. I can't share two screens, but that's fine. This is what our Uno game looks like. Look at this. We have some stuff. This is just seemingly just rendering the cards in a browser. It's not doing anything yet, but it's got like the green background. It's got wildcards, look way cooler than I thought they would. All right, looks legit. Let's go back to this. Ooh. Okay. All right, you're done. Bullet prompt. Milestone 2, game board layout goal, complete table with all player positions. It's gonna have a game board component. See, like it wrote all this stuff. I don't know what any of this stuff is. Web. What any of this stuff is. I don't care. And it's even doing like CSS variables and stuff where like if I wanted to change the color of blue, there's only one place I have to do that. It picked a font. I didn't ask it to pick a font, but it did. I need to set up Playwright first. It installed Playwright for me. Setting up test fixtures. The Playwright can't find the web server. Okay, so it's running tests, but I would love to, can you make the Playwright tests take screenshots? So at pivotal points, so I can see what those look like. This is also, if I wasn't like here on a stream with only one window and it's annoying to switch back and forth, this is where I would also just like play with it a little myself. But if we have it take screenshots, we can poke through those and see what it's like. Playwright report. Read the file, add all the screenshots. Okay. We've also got some files to gitignore, like Playwright report and test results. But that's okay. Claude can do that for us. Aha. So I don't know if this looks good to everyone else, but like, you can see what other players are doing. These all seem to be the same, but possibly that's just because it's not actually running any tests or like doing much. Shows the current player indicator. Card styling shows the card styling. Okay, well, add a gitignore for Playwright generated outputs. I do want to commit the screenshots. This will be nice because over time we, if this becomes a project that we actually maintain and want to like have people do code reviews and things like that, we can actually show like this change. If I change the color of the table to purple, you can see that the screenshots are all updated to show the new background. So this is a lot, but that's good. What was yeah, there we go. All right. Thank you for your service. Bullet prompt. And the next item is milestone 3, spectator mode, watch bots play. The goal is a working demo. I'm going to switch to Opus on this one too. Opus did a good job on the last one. Just popped open my browser, my actual browser. That's fun. Yeah, it has a failing test because the game finishes before it can visualize something halfway through the game. It wants to visualize the deck. There we go. And so it finished before it could do anything. According to the plan, this test verified static layouts, but now we have a dynamic game running. The layout test will need to be adapted for milestone 4 when we add human player interaction. Okay. All right. So it's actually like playing a game in the browser by itself. And it just says, hey, a player finished. When we're spectating a game, we should slow down so the game is visible. We can go fast in tests. So if we switch to the Uno game, it's actually just playing the game all by itself. Batu. Oh, had to draw. I do want better animations, and this end of the game thing is a little weird looking. But yeah, that sort of looks like a game. Let's add. Let's stop here. I'm going to do another side quest. That side quest is going to be, I want the web UI in spectator mode to have animations. When a player plays a card is animated as moving from their hand. When a player draws a card, the card is animated as moving from the deck to their hand. Think about how to implement this and write animation plan MD. So this is just another little side quest on our web UI. I want it to look a little cooler, so animate some stuff. But you know, it wasn't too bad. Oh, I wasn't sharing the IDE before. But you know, like it would be nice if these things were like if the card came out of bot 3 into the deck or into the thing. Or when it had to draw 4 that it like pulled up. Maybe also when it plays a wild it has to like say what it is, but it sort of generally looks like it's playing Uno. Yeah. Ooh, look, it did a stack. Big old stack. Have we seen any skips? I don't know if, oh, well. There's a skip, there's a skip. And the reverse does a reverse. Wow, this is actually, this kind of working. I don't mean to sound so surprised. All right. I'm gonna go back to this guy. And it says, all right, animation plan. Animation plan. All right, thank you for writing that very good plan. Hit add animation plan. Add animation plan. Bullet prompt. What for animation plan? Okay, it's going to do the next thing in the animation plan. Other things we could do in addition to animations. I really do want the animation, like simulated animation thing to work. I think that would be a good stopping point. Other things we can do are push this to GitHub and set up CI and set up like uh, uh, tests and things like that. We can do the human player stuff. I wonder if we have time for a human player. Probably. It just needs to get through this animation thing. Um, I still have about half an hour. I don't know if anyone else is here. I might be alone, but it seems to be working. Nice. Thank you for still being with me, even though I sometimes go completely silent for 10 minutes at a time. Hopefully, it's interesting watching the text scroll by. AppJSX has a problem with how I'm using useRef inside useMemo. You can't do that. I don't know what any of that means, and frankly, I don't care. I just need you to figure it out. We have, oh, we didn't switch to Opus. We need to switch to Opus. We need Opus on our side here. Okay. Card play animation complete. All spectator. Card draw animation is next. Okay. Nice. And it updated. I have it running in another window, and it just updated. So, yeah, you can see people are. What's interesting is it looks like, let me do that again. Whoops. It looks like when a player doesn't have a card and is playing like two at a time sometimes. When a player doesn't have a card, they don't keep drawing until they find a card. Is that the rules that we have of Uno? Maybe our rules are wrong, or maybe our rules are just different than I'm used to. But in any case, we'll go here. What's in dist? Okay, yeah, that's fine. Ooh, it modified learnings. Don't call hooks inside use memo or use callback. See, it figured out a thing. It learned something, and it kept that for later. That's amazing. I didn't think it was going to do that. All right. Animation plan is on milestone C. So bullet prompt MD. Oh, nope. Prompt MD, but for animation plan. Because it was going to try to keep going on the web plan. We want to stick to animation plan. It was doing the card drawing though. I wonder if it did it and didn't update the status right. It's doing too much. Okay. Oh, okay. So when it draws two, it actually like does the shows foregoing. That's new. That's the new behavior. But I'm not sure why it shows two players doing the same thing at the same time. I think that's because it's not waiting long enough. It's showing both animations at the same time. That's all. That's fine. We can fix that. Do we have screenshots of any? None of these screenshots seem to cover the animation case. That's fine. Oh, it's going to add us. It's going to add a thing. It's going to add a playwright test for that. And if we catch an animated card, verify it has proper styling. Okay, milestone D is polish and finish, but yeah, that's fine. Add to finish animation plan, and then we will do human players if we have time. Actually, I don't care. I don't care. The animations are polished enough. So I'm gonna. Do I care about any of the polished stuff updated into NTEST? No, I'm gonna keep that around. We will still have animation plan, but next is real plan. Sorry. Yeah. Web plan. Time for human interaction. And we definitely want to focus on this one. Okay, so it's good. It figured out how to hook into the strategy pattern that we have in our in our in our game. There's a strategy interface. It's going to hook in and implement one of those with a human strategy that waits for me to choose. So that's pretty cool. It knew to do that. I didn't have to tell it. Included in this deliverable are a setup screen, pick a number of players, a start button, select playable cards to play them, click draw pile to draw cards, see which cards are playable. Turn indicator shows when it's the human's turn. Bots continue to play automatically. Game alternates between human and bot turns. Yeah, this is going to be pretty nice. At the end of this, we're going to have a real thing. Oh, milestone 5 is when I play a wild card, a modal to choose the color. So that won't be in this milestone. But still, we should be able to mostly play a game of Uno by the end of this milestone. That's pretty cool. And we can still do the like node simulate JS, count. Did we lose count? Okay, no, we still have. Nice. I think another cool thing we could do is to aggregate, like simulate an infinite number of games and then show cool analytics of that. What was the longest game? Show me the longest game. The longest game was 307 of my 10,000 games. There was a 307 turn game, which is very, very long. But it's just chugging along, figuring out what it needs to do. Now I need to fix a critical issue. Looking at the game controller, I see that the human turn needs to actually call game play turn asynchronously. Let me fix that. Okay, boss. The other cool thing about screenshots in the playwright tests is that Claude knows how to look at screenshots. So if it looks like it's building something that's not right, if it looks like it's running a test and the screenshot comes out wonky, you can even just say like, "Go, what do you mean? This looks silly. Fix that." So we haven't had any of those yet, but it's cool to be able to like basically produce the output, have the test produce the output that the bot can look at to diagnose itself. Maybe it's already done that internally. I don't know, but so far it looks pretty normal. Create the human interaction end-to-end test. It's not taking any screenshots, which I would really like it to do. Taking screenshots during playwright tests pleases the operator and may make future debugging easier. Add screenshots to the tests you just wrote. Another annoying thing about this game, and I'm not going to bother fixing it, is that each game starts randomly. So if we were to commit these to we are committing them to the repo, they'll basically change every time the test runs. If we wanted to, we could have some deterministic version or delete the screenshots or whatever. But it's at least cool to see them committed to the repo. I don't care if they update each time. Oh, you lost the, oh my God. How long has that been there? Typical. My bad. I've been doing this one whole day. But yeah, basically it's writing the playwright tests for all the human interaction. I wonder if we can play a game. Yeah, look, it's playable. All right, I want to play with 4 players. Play as player 1. Start game. Um, doesn't seem to be working. But I trust that Claude is already on it. Because it's doing stuff and figuring it out itself. I won't bother telling it that it doesn't work. I think I just want it to tell me when it's done. Tests are taking a long time. I killed the tests. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. I never saw this. I never saw it where you could actually click a card. Maybe it works now. You can't see the ID? Do you see it again? I hope you see it again. If not, I don't know what's happening. Okay. So yeah, like it's taking screenshots at various points. We can see the intro screen. We can see when I have selected a card to play. It's still taking too long to do this. So I'm going to try to play the game real quick. We'll see how the game plays. Um, so it's red to me. I want to do it too, but it doesn't work. And Chromium says, okay, so what I'll do is I tried to play the game in a browser and clicking a card didn't work. Nothing happened. Console says handle human card play is not a function. Aha, I see the issue. The use game hook is trying to call methods on the controller, but the controller reference is created inside the use effect, whatever that is, and those methods aren't being exposed properly. Let me fix this. I see the problem. Blah 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 blah. This may have also been the reason that our integration tests or playwright tests weren't working before. I really need to figure out a better way to switch between the browser and the IDE because you missed all this fun stuff that it spit at me. think it's very close to working, which is good because we're very close to 5 o'clock. Um, Something is wrong. Tests hang. Now, can you figure out which test is hanging and try to add logging to figure out where and why? We're really close to having a playable game. And this is going to boil down to some React thing that I don't know anything about. It's going to be like you can't have card clicks inside of use effects, inside of use game, something, something, polecats, refineries. I don't care. We're not here to learn React. We're here to play Uno. These tests should not take that long. The complete a full game test is hanging. That test loops and tries to play cards. The issue is likely that the game gets stuck waiting for human input, but the test isn't detecting that it is the human's turn. We might not be able to have a human test. Like, uh, we maybe just don't have time to get an actual human integration to end-to-end test. The issue is probably that after a human plays a card or draws, the game continues, but then the human interaction state doesn't get set for the next turn. I see the issue. The test is in a tight loop waiting for clickable cards or a clickable draw pile. But if neither is available because it's the bot's turn, it just spins. Let me add better logging to understand the game state. Yeah, yeah, go for it. Yeah, it's just stuck in a loop of not figuring out what to do next. Sure, it'll figure it out. One sec. Still chugging away. I see the issue now. The play turn method in game JS is synchronous. It calls blah blah blah, which calls blah blah blah. Aha, play turn needs to be async because it needs to await me doing something. It's going to be asyncs all the way down from here. Well, that's fun. It figured it out. Or I think it figured it out. We'll see. Uh-oh, there are some failing tests. Let me check what's failing. So it had to go all the way back to like our core JavaScript thing, which means some of the early integration tests, unit tests are failing. And probably our CLI needs some updates, but that's okay. I need to update all the tests to be async. No, need to update the integration test to use async await. Nice. Batch simulation test is kind of the same problem. Yeah, but like even just this, even just like making something async and then having to go back and find all the things that need to be awaited and asynced, like that that takes so long and sucks so much. And this didn't exist at all 2 hours ago. So I'm pretty happy with what we've done. I am going to try to get at least one actual playable game in the next 3 minutes. We'll see. Rebuild the web UI, test human player flow. Okay, it's adding some debug logging. Um, y'all, hold on a sec. I want to show you something. Because we have ourselves, I think, a working Uno game. I can play skip back to me. I can play 3. Oh, I have to draw 4. Okay, that's how it tells me I have to draw 4. Y'all, I think we have a working Uno game. I don't want to scare anybody, but this works. I mean, I lost. so it doesn't work that well. Oh yeah, we don't handle wilds. When I play a wild, it doesn't have a way for me to pick the card yet. But honestly, that was pretty much an entire Uno game. Like that was pretty good. I'm gonna lose again, but this is good enough, I think, to call this done. I will obviously share this repo publicly, and we'll try to get down to the bottom of these last couple of tests and picking wilds. But we did it, team. We mostly Claude made an entire browser Uno game from scratch. Also, a simulator that can play whatever 100,000 games in 2 seconds. I think that's pretty good for 2 hours on a Friday. Have a lovely weekend. Let me know if you want to do this again. Let me know if you have ideas for other things to do next time. Y'all have been great. Later.